The US Congress just made it easier to draft young men into the military during a war. Happy holidays. This is the biggest change to America's conscription policy in decades, and it seems like practically no one is talking about it. So every year, Congress passes something called the National Defense Authorization Act, or NDAA. This year's law includes a provision making registration automatic for men between the ages of 18 and 26 who would be called up in the event of a draft. How is this different from before? Well, the current selective service system, as it's called, relies on young men registering themselves for the draft. That usually happens through the department's website, or in many states when applying for a driver's license. And this registration is actually legally required for nearly all male citizens and immigrants in the US. If you don't register, you can be denied student aid, be ineligible for a job with the federal government, and although this hasn't actually been enforced in decades, receive a fine of up to $250,000 and 5 years in prison. But despite this, registration rates have declined in recent years. Last year, for example, just 81% of eligible men registered. Now Selective Service will be able to use government data like Social Security information to automatically register young men. Proponents like Democratic Representative Chrissy Houlihan say this new process will save taxpayers money and help men avoid the penalties of failing to register. And to be clear, this change doesn't mean the military is bringing back the draft. That would take both Congress and the president, and it hasn't happened since the Vietnam War. Political leaders across the spectrum have repeatedly dismissed the idea that a draft could come back to the US. But the question is, why strengthen a system that you never actually intend to use? The whole point of automatic registration is to make it easier for the government to force young men into the military should a major war break out involving the US. One thing military experts often cite is the possibility of a war with China over Taiwan, or an attack on the US West Coast. Now those might sound unlikely, but there are think tanks in DC, there are military strategists who are literally gaming out these war scenarios, and they're not ruling out conscription. So what do you think? Should young men be automatically registered for a wartime draft?